say are the top three skills that are needed to run a successful executive operation?
Well, first, I will say, we often hear executive operations and chief of staff, and I think chief of staff has been the one that's been coming like in front of everybody. And I guess I just want to remind people that executive operations to me is a natural progression of the role of a typical executive assistant role. And the big difference, I would say, is that the executive is the deliverable in executive ops, whereas in a chief of staff, often the business unit or the organization they're responsible for the success of the org. Whereas in executive ops, your sole focus is the executive being the deliverable. So, given that, I think that you really have to come at it with a strategic lens and kind of go, like, what is broken and what is missing, and how do I fix it? Also, just taking a really deep dive into understanding what's happening in the business, and then what are the blockers. And of course, this changes the farther up in an org that you get, right? Like if you're partnered with an exec or a director versus a CEO, it's going to look different. But really kind of looking at like what are the blockers that are slowing down the business, and how is it coming from this office, and then how do we shift all of that? So strategic thinking, really leveling up your business acumen. And I know this sounds a little weird, but you have to build your confidence, because you're going to be speaking out into things that people typically aren't used to this role speaking up on. So it's being confident, finding your voice, speaking up, and fully owning your seat at the table.